It always comes to this. Hello there guys, here to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I had just showed off my red on black neck tattoo, and obviously it's healed now, it's fully peeled. So as I said, it's not as bright as it was, although Rick believes it's going to brighten up a bit. I usually take his word for anything color related, but I'm happy with how it did for a first pass. I had said I likely wouldn't do a second pass. I probably won't do a second pass on most of it because it's the right color now, although the face parts of it didn't stay as well. It's probably just an effect of pushing a little farther than we probably should have with color. That being said, there was no trouble healing or anything. It was just color is a tough one, and when the skin starts getting irritated or annoyed or tightening up, it just doesn't go in as well. So obviously I said the chin wasn't going to do that well, but underneath the chin and the jaw and stuff did great. All the black in here was pretty good, nice and strong, and same this side. But it's just the stuff around the face here that didn't do too well. So what I think I might do is, since Terry and I have a bit of work in the roses left to do, we wanted to do a third pass, not on all the white, but just parts of the white, like the high points. So we might do that and touch up some of the red at the same time, and that'll be a decent session. So yeah, that one took, like I said, 4 hours and 10 minutes, something like that. A couple days later, I was already healed and ready to go for my next session, which I had with Rick. Rick and I sat down for a few hours again, did some more color. So he did this. We did some of the color over here in this guy, but mostly we just did black this time. So it made a dramatic difference to have the black in around the pre-existing color that we did here 4 or 5 weeks ago. I think this was the 7th session on my chest now. So yeah, it's been 5 sessions of the color and filling in so far, but again, it's slow going. Doesn't really matter that it's slow going as long as we're getting somewhere, though. That's the main point. And this session was probably the most dramatic change of all. It'll probably be like that for most sessions. I think next session will be like that as well. We'll be I think we're going to be doing black around this tentacle section and a little bit more color. So, and then the next week we'll be framing this side similarly with black and doing a little more color. And then we'll be back into the center. It'll probably be like center, and then back over here, and then back over here. So we're pretty well on course for how I expected this to go. I expected this to take about this long, and I'm not really surprised that it's taking quite a while. Sorry, I'm just playing with the light here. I expected it to be between 15 to 20 sessions. I'm going to ramp that up even maybe a little more. I'm expecting somewhere closer to 25-ish, probably, because I want to build background around all of this as well, like what we've done with the spider eyes here. I want to have background elements played into the chest piece and even into the neck, so everything's going to kind of build into each other. There's going to be no seams between anything, and from there we're going to build that seamless continuation onto the sleeves on both sides. So yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. The reason why we didn't do mostly color, we changed the approach again this week. This time it was mostly black and some color. That wasn't deliberate. As it turns out, Rick is not necessarily the most caught up on his bills or the most well planned or thought out person. So how that correlates to my week's session was, it seems like Rick has run out of 7 mags that he likes to use on me for color, and he has like tons and tons of needles. He's got more needles than he could ever possibly use, but he has the ones that he likes to use for certain reasons and ones he likes to use for other reasons, and I completely understand that. And as in his own words, there's nothing more frustrating than when things don't work. So he didn't want to be packing a bunch of color on me with needles that he doesn't like using for color packing, particularly for a cover-up project. We're not looking to do a whole bunch of scar tissue, and when color's not going in right, it's best to knock it off. I'm going to say that pretty boldly here, that color in particular is pretty thick, same as white. And if it's not going in well, it's best not to force it. If you're having to fight to get it in, like if you're having to really, really try like really hard, or if you're really having to overwork an area to try and get the color, that's when you need to knock it off for the day. That's when you're going to get, potential risk of infection or digging someone up or causing scar tissue or hard, slow heal, like long heal times. All kinds of problems. So he was ready to pack it in for the day when he outlined the red and the black here, and I was like, no, we're not done yet. Let's do at least something. We've got, we're going to have to do all this black anyway. So may as well bolden the outline and shade in the black on the face, like around here, because that's still got to get done. We didn't do that yet when we did the color. So he's like, yeah, man, okay. So we used the needles he does like to use for packing black, and obviously did some thicker outlines, and that was great. But that's where I had to be a little assertive, because I'm okay with shorter sessions. I've said that many times. I understand. But I still want to get some things done, right? So, and obviously where I'm working with 2 different artists, it doesn't really matter so much if one of my appointments ends up being small or short or whatever. My body's always in some kind of a state of healing anyway. And that too with the fitness stuff. Well, I'm always sore from something. I used to joke at my old job that if you ever see me, doesn't matter what we're doing, where I am, whether I'm at work or at home or whatever, you should just assume that I'm sore for some reason. Now, back in those times, I was stretching piercings all the time too. And I mean, like, you see these big holes, and they don't tell the full story. And I had way more too. Like, I've had way more piercings than I have now. I used to have a stretch piercing up here, and a stretch piercing here, and a stretch piercing here, and my lip used to be a lot bigger, and same as my upper lip. Like, each of those were like incremental stretches. So basically, pretty much some part of me was in some kind of pain or swelling or inflammation or something was sore basically for the last 10 years, maybe longer. Someone asked me recently when was the last time I went swimming, and it's been since the summer of 2011 or something. It's something I dearly miss, but there are some casualties of war along the way. You know, you can't have everything you want. When you're getting, even my first bodysuit was like, it was the same thing. I was working even harder, but it wasn't sitting down for one and dones. One and dones often aren't the best anyway, but in terms of detail work and stuff, I like really, really detailed tattoos. Tiny little details that you can only see up close. I still like that big grabbing image from afar. But within that image, there can be a lot of detail. And those are the things that take hours. If you just do a big, huge black and gray piece and like painterly style shading, you can do that in a couple hours and it can look striking. But up close, you kind of get nothing more from it. It's a good look, but I like more. I like more details. I like little things that you get up close on and you're like, oh, that's intricate. Almost everything I've ever had has been like that. It was hilarious to me when people were like, slamming the blackout that I did, like my whole blackout project. Oh, it's got no detail. Well, there's nothing. And it's like, yeah, there's. You have no idea. I had 550 hours worth of detail work before all of that, and I'm well on my way to that kind of level already into the next suit. So it's like, man, yeah. Anyway, I won't get into that. I am a little tired. I had a long day yesterday, and I've got lots to do today, but I've been trying to do these vlogs like the day after my tattoo. It just works better, so I'm not doing it at the end of a work day. So this is technically my day off, because I actually have days off now. Anyway, this is settled in a little bit, but not completely. We already know what this is going to look like. You're kind of looking at it. So this side will look a lot like this side, except it won't have all the tones. So this time next week, this will chill out a little, and otherwise it'll be pretty supported in there. So that'll be cool. We'll come back to this when we have the right mags. And I'm not really worried about not having it done this time because, right, like I said, we're in the middle of a very long journey. So it's like, if we don't get it this week, we'll get it next week or 3 weeks from now or whatever. There's no urgency. So yeah, really liking how that face is looking. It's more and more as we do this, it reveals the monster that we're making, and more as we add to this, you can almost not see the old tattoo anymore. The silhouette, as I said, only really stood out because of what it was framed by. Now that there's some other stuff in the middle of it, you can't even really tell it was there unless you're super close. You can see the skull here, but that guy's on borrowed time too. Anyway, yeah, as I said, the neck healed really great. Just show that off one more time for anyone out there that was doubting how that would heal or questioning. It's healed really well, and about the way I wanted it to, other than the face is a little skeptical. There's not much red there. Anyway, we'll hit that again and it'll be just fine. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.